Hello everyone, this is our first HITO Evaluativo, that is a study of case. This group is composed by Paula Enriquez, Juan Pablo Peña, and me, Juan Andrés Reynoso. In this case, we are going to cover contextual, social, and economical aspect, the role of the teacher, as well as the profile of the student to a specific given context. Considering all the aspects that we have been able to study throughout our career, thus achieve the complete analysis. We have three objectives. First is to analyze the case. Second, to try to solve the problem of the case. And third, and the last one, to give solution to the problems presented in the case. Our case have several characteristics, such as a municipal dependent schools in the Bio region, a social and culturally deprived context, plans of motivating studies, continuity which falls behind, 43 students per class, one teacher English who worked there for 18 years, low expectation for the students, they struggle with classes, poor learning process, and overall poor academic performance with some expectation, okay? First, we can identify that the development of the school is very low because it's municipal. That's according to the general education law that is presented in the screen, says the public education is oriented to the full development of the students according to their needs and characteristics. It is searching for an integral formation of the people, ensuring their spiritual, social, ethical, moral, affective, intellectual, and physical development, among others, of stimulating the development of creativity, critical capacity, citizens' participation, and democratic values. Therefore, it is evident that the education context in the schools is detrimental. And we think that a diagnostic test is a good alternative for identifying the problem with the student's knowledge. The diagnostic test, according to the second article of the General Education Law, degree 170, that is an evaluation which constitutes an objective and comprehensive investigation process carried out by competent professional, which consists of the application of a set of evaluation procedures and instrument whose purpose is to specify through an interdisciplinary approach the learning and health condition of the students and the evolutionary nature of this.
Now, education consists of two significant subjects for it to be effective: the learner and the educator. In this context, we can see a teacher who has worked for 18 years, and he oversees all levels of education because there are no other teachers. These teachers comment that he does not carry out activities that require more effort since they are not interesting for the students. We can conclude that there is a not good teacher-student relationship, thus generating a bad atmosphere in the classroom and therefore a bad coexistence. It should be noted that the role of the teacher in school life must be strategic, with the aim of promoting social skills and motivation in the students. The relationship between students and teacher is considered important in all students' development. Ismail and Hayes studied the factor that affected motivation in the classroom. They noted how the teacher's passion and enthusiasm impacted their work and noted a connection between enthusiasm and motivation. If this teacher is unable to motivate his students to learn, the problem could be the methods he uses to deliver the content to the students, without mentioning the fact that development activities can be overwhelming and the students do not participate. This can lead to a physical or mental saturation on the part of the teacher, resulting in burnout syndrome, which results in the appearances of stress, psychological crisis, and lack of motivation, directly affecting the development of activities. It can be concluded that it's necessary for both educational agents, the teacher and the students, to collaborate in the development of activities, and they must work together to achieve the objectives.
Well, aside from this, if we consider the cognitive difficulties and conditions that some students struggle with, which ends in these low marks, bad feedback loopholes, the necessity of acknowledgement of how these conditions will negatively affect overall performance is clear. And when we talk about cognitive difficulties, the concept of memory is key. This relation between memory and learning and which are the methods to enhance this is elaborated on in the work of Ordóñez in the year 2005, where she argues that the information process, learning, and memory have to be analyzed in depth before taking in-class measures. Still, there are several methods that could not be used in our case due to particular conditions. First, trying to correlate past and new content in a class which barely meets the yearly standards will be futile, as this very condition implies a lack of depth, useful content background. Second, resources that implies high cognitive skills such as acrostic and mind maps could be a good idea if the failed dynamics of our case will be fixed. Unfortunately, and until that moment, all other activities may be better. Some of the activities that Sosa in the year 2000 may help in this learning and memory issue are: first, the use of humor and games in all scholar levels. Yeah, it will help to the effectiveness of the primacy and recency principle. That is, the principle of how the first and brief amount of information students receive is the most important, as is the one which they will retain. And if we aim to regain motivation and consider cognitive issues, to rely on activities involving dexterity is a good option. Repetition, memory games, songs, reading text, taxonomies, analysis of similarities and differences, and so on. Finally, we have to repeat that the main focus is on the teacher, as he is the one who is responsible for the lack of motivation and the bad self-perception of the students. These are resources for the teacher, not solutions. Working in groups can ease the load of work for the teacher until the class dynamics start to get better. At the same time, this peer-to-peer orientation will help those students who struggle to talk in public. Finally, we appreciate your attention. These are the credits. Again, we were Paula Enriquez, Juan Pablo Peña, Juan Andrés Reynoso, and this is the bibliography that we used. Thank you so much.